Prince Andrew suffers setback as lucrative business deal with startup fails to get off the ground. It appears as though Prince Andrew is already experiencing a setback just 1 month after signing a lucrative business deal. The disgraced Duke of York, 64, last month secured a deal with a Dutch business firm that promised to pay him millions in exchange for his connections from the Pitch at Palace initiative. Andrew's joint venture with Startupbootcamp marked the first known work he's undertaken since stepping down as a working member of the firm in 2020. However, sources close to the startup have told BBC News that weeks after the former working royal joined the team, nothing has been signed and no transactions have taken place. Hello viewers, please remember to subscribe and click on the notifications bell icon, so you will be notified whenever we upload new cookies about the British royal family. The Post has reached out to Startupbootcamp and Buckingham Palace for comment. Andrew was due to receive a cut for each deal Startupbootcamp made across global territories, as per the agreement. Kauan von Novack, CEO of Startupbootcamp, even spoke out about the partnership with the scandal-scarred royal, saying the company's mission is to help entrepreneurs to create the change the world needs. We see immense value in the network built up by Pitch at Palace, he added at the time. Still, there's been no word from Andrew about the ambitious business venture. Behind the scenes, Andrew has been doing all he can to remain at the Royal Lodge ever since his brother, King Charles, expressed a strong desire to downsize him into a smaller property. Late last year, Andrew found himself on the brink of eviction but nonetheless refused to move into the smaller Frogmore cottage. Despite being poised to leave the royal digs after Charles refused to continue financially carrying his brother's weight, Andrew sensationally managed to find a mystery financial backer at the 11th hour. The new gig was said to have been a financial lifeline that could have provided him with a much-needed cash boost. However, it's now been thrust into doubt given that no transactions have taken place. It comes as Andrew had taken up household chores in a desperate bid to pinch a few pennies around Royal Lodge, given its shocking current state. Prince Andrew low blow leaves Charles appalled as Duke creates Royal Lodge shield. King Charles has allegedly been left appalled at Prince Andrew's latest tactics to try and fend off any further attempt to boot him out of Royal Lodge. The disgraced Duke of York survived having his security detail removed last year as he was able to fund his own team. But Charles is still keen for his brother to live somewhere smaller and could move again in 2025 to try and oust him. The Duke of York lives in the property with ex-wife Sarah Ferguson, having signed a 75-year lease in 2003. Thought to be worth £30 million, Royal Lodge has seemingly fallen into a poor state with the Duke of York struggling to pay for its upkeep. Now, sources have claimed Andrew is using the late Queen's beloved corgis Muick and Sandy to try and ease the pressure from his brother. Andrew and Sarah inherited the dogs after the Queen's death in 2022 and have been caring for them since. An insider has now suggested Andrew believes the presence of the two dogs and memory of their mother will stave off any fresh moves to boot him out. A source told Women's Own, he's banking on the canines to shield him from moving. The Queen would be rolling in her grave over this. It shows just how bad things are between them that Andrew feels his brother values those two dogs more than him and enough to make sure he's properly taken care of. Charles is said to believe the move is a low blow. Muick and Sandy were originally gifted to the Queen during the COVID pandemic. They live with the Yorks at Royal Lodge, with Sarah often posting on social media about their well-being. On International Dog Day last year, she wrote on Instagram, "For all the unconditional love, loyalty, and joy they bring into our lives, Sandy and Muick will be getting an extra treat on their special day." Prince Andrew's future at Royal Lodge home, one thing could still seal his eviction. Prince Andrew's fall from public favour has been well documented, with his reported determination to stay at his Royal Lodge home in Windsor being the latest bone of contention. In line with King Charles' plans to downsize the monarchy, the Duke of York was offered a move from his mansion to the more compact Frogmore cottage, recently refurbished by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Former BBC royal correspondent Jenny Bond previously offered a view on Andrew and the King's dilemma, saying that Andrew should accept his brother's sensible offer and move to a property he can afford. On whether Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie would ever be able to inherit the home from their father, Terry said, "While it's reported that Prince Andrew has a 75-year lease on Royal Lodge, the ability to pass this property to Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie as an inheritance isn't guaranteed. Because Royal Lodge is part of the Crown estate, The final decision over succession or lease assignment would typically require Crown Estate approval, and possibly the King's assent. If Andrew were to vacate the property, either by choice or by circumstances, the Crown Estate and King Charles could choose to end the lease, assign it to another royal, or even open it up for new arrangements within the royal family. King Charles, as head of the royal household, would have considerable influence in this decision. Although the king doesn't directly control Crown Estate properties, he can certainly play a role in determining which royals reside in them. This means that if Charles has alternative plans for Royal Lodge, he could prevent it from being passed on to Andrew's daughters. Ultimately, any arrangement to extend or alter the lease terms would need to be mutually agreed upon with the Crown Estate and possibly influenced by the king's vision for future royal residences. While Royal Lodge has a rich and fascinating history, much of which is tied to the life of Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, recent pictures highlighted the home's state of disrepair. Historic estates demand ongoing repairs, climate control, and specialized care to address inevitable wear, all of which are costly and time-consuming. Without the financial backing previously afforded to working royals, Andrew could find these costs a growing strain. And, as we've seen in recent photos, neglecting issues like damp or structural wear can lead to worsening problems and higher costs down the line. Then, referring to how renegotiations if the he fails in its upkeep could seal Andrew's fate, Terry adds, the Crown Estate may expect Royal Lodge to remain in a condition befitting its heritage status, so failing to meet these standards could lead to interventions, possibly even lease renegotiations if the property's preservation comes into question. As for what the future has in store for the royal residence, it is clear that King Charles will have the final say. Given the property's connection to the Crown Estate, King Charles could indeed influence whether Royal Lodge passes to Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, Terry explains. While Andrew may wish for his daughters to inherit the lease, the final say over who occupies Crown properties often involves the monarch's guidance or approval. In an interview with the Sunday Times during 2021, the Duchess expressed that she views Royal Lodge as her principal UK dwelling whenever she is in Britain. She expressed, "I travel a lot and I've always been able to make wherever I am home. If I am staying in a hotel, I have the same family photographs and scented candles around me. When I'm in the UK, I'm lucky enough to stay at Royal Lodge. I wouldn't call it my home as that would be presumptuous." 3 years prior, in 2018, she detailed to the Daily Mail how despite having separate rooms on different sides of the mansion, they always enjoy afternoon tea together. She stated, "We sit round the table and have afternoon tea together." Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and drop comments. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything.